What is up, guys? For those that don't know, the Paimon's Bargain Shop has reset in Asia and it will be resetting soon in Europe, and shortly after that it will reset in NA. So if you are in Europe or NA, I just wanted to make this video give you a heads up about what you can expect in the next shop and if you should continue to buy things in the November shop or if you just wait for December. And we will be doing a breakdown of the December items in case you do want to pick up some of these items. Alright, as you guys can see, for the month of December, the characters that are going to be available in the shop are Barbara and Kaeya. The royal weapons have also returned and replaced the Black Cliff weapons. For those that are unfamiliar with the royal weapons, they were weapons that were featured in the first two shops, and they have attack percent main stat. And for the passive, upon damaging an opponent, increases crit rate by 8%, max 5 stacks. A crit hit removes all stacks. There was a glitch you could do previously with Xingqiu where you could apply all the stacks to yourself and then use your burst skill and switch off of Xingqiu to give yourself that crit rate for every hit, because it used to not count the crit hit you do off field to reset the passive, but in 1.1 that probably did change. We will test that later, or you can test it yourselves and leave it down in the comments if you know what the answer is. Now, because everybody gets a free Kaeya and a free Barbara in the game, I'll just only talk about the Constellations and if you should be picking up either of these characters in the shop and for whatever reason. Most people should be having Constellation 1 Barbara for free because we got 2 free Barbaras if you've played from the start of the game. But if you only have 1 free Barbara and 0 Constellation, the first Constellation is really not that great. Regenerates 1 energy every 10 seconds. Pretty meaningless when you have an energy cost of 80. That would take you 800 seconds to be able to regenerate your entire burst skill if you did nothing other than that, especially because her elemental skill doesn't generate any elemental particles for herself anyways, so you're relying on your other teammates to give you energy. For Constellation 2, it does decrease the cooldown of her elemental skill, but once again, that doesn't really seem to make a huge difference. The main reason why you'd want Constellation 2 is because when you have the ability active for the aura, the character that the aura is on will get 15% increased Hydra damage bonus. They can be important if you do like using Child or Mona, but I don't think this is exactly worth picking up with starglitter. And for Constellation 3, if you do have Constellation 3, I don't think you really need her burst skill to be a whole lot stronger. For Constellation 4, you're rarely ever going to be using a charge attack on Barbara, but if you main Barbara for whatever reason, feel free to pick this up. Constellation 5, you do not really need levels on her elemental skill to heal more. And for Constellation 6, it is a nice perk, but keep in mind it cannot revive herself. This does work in the Abyss, but it will be every 15 minutes. You can't just die and revive and then reset the floor or the chamber and then have another revive available. It's going to be 15 minutes from any point since you die and revive. All right, we're just going to do a really quick rundown of Kaeya's Constellations because you can only get him on the standard banner, and if you are pulling on the standard banner, you better have a pretty good reason because it's not very wise. For his first Constellation, he does increase crit rate on targets against targets that are afflicted by cryo, but it is only for normal and charged attacks, so that is a little bit of a downer, but most of his damage does come from normal and charged attacks. For Constellation 2, every time Glacial Waltz defeats an enemy during its duration, it increases its own duration. The problem with this Constellation is that I do believe it has to be the burst skill that does kill the target, not while you kill a target while having the burst up. And for the third Constellation, you are upgrading his elemental skill, which is kind of nice. This Frozen Kiss seems pretty useless, where if you fall below 20% HP, you're going to get a shield that's equivalent to 30% of your max HP. I don't think you should ever really need that. And for his fifth Constellation, you are upgrading his burst skill, which is okay. And for his final Constellation, it is kind of interesting where he generates an extra icicle and he regenerates 15% of the energy. When you have a 60 energy cost, it can be useful if you are somehow maining Kaeya. For the Stardust Exchange, both types of Fate are still available at discount, so you should definitely be picking up both of these, or at least the Intertwined Fate every month. And for the Starglitter shop, I do not think either of the characters are really worth picking up for Constellation. And the Royal Weapons, unless they are still glitched, they are probably not worth picking up either. And for those that still have the November shop available and are contemplating still on what to buy, if they should buy anything, I did not personally pick up any of the Black Cliff weapons because although the main stat of crit damage is really nice, the passives seem too situational for me to enjoy. You do have to defeat an enemy, and if you are trying to defeat some large tankier enemy like in the Abyss, you will not be getting this passive that frequently, as well as if you are fighting some of the new endgame content in 1.2 for the boss content, there will only be about one enemy, so what is the point of this passive at that point? So I think starglitter is better off used elsewhere. And I did pick up Bennett for both my pay-to-play and my free-to-play account. I did make them both C1 at this point, but C1 is more of a luxury. But keep in mind, for Bennett, he does not need C1 to be functional. He can be completely used at C0 and at low level. You only go about 22% when you go up from level 1 talent to level 6 talent, and so when his passive at Constellation 1 gives you 20% more base attack, it is kind of upgrading your talent a lot of levels. But you also have to keep in mind that your base attack is quite low on Bennett, because you can see here my base attack is 427, so it would only be a small portion of that number. And that number would only be added on to your character's attack here as an extra addition. It's not going to be multiplied by any other factors. You can obviously increase their base attack by increasing their weapons level. For example, my weapon is only 60 out of 60, and you could also use a 5-star weapon or various other things. Just keep in mind base attack is just this flat number here. It has nothing to do with the passive or modifiers of any sort. And you also get base attack from your character's natural attack as well. And so overall, I'd be getting around 98% of my Bennett's base attack transferred over to other characters. It is quite nice, but if you are missing Constellation 1, it would be 78% still, which is quite hefty. And the other benefit obviously is that you can transfer the attack at any HP point, but Bennett heals so high so fast that you really don't need that sort of passive. And for the other Constellations, I do not think he really needs any of them. You could pick Constellation 2, but I don't think it's worth the star glitter. Just wait till he's featured up in a banner, and you probably will end up pulling on that banner regardless. For Lisa, I'm not really even going to go over her Constellations because she just probably won't be used by you at all, with or without Constellation, until she gets a buff. To sum it all up, for the November shop, make sure that you pick up all of the fates that you could possibly get, at least the intertwined fate. Make sure you budget so that you can end up buying the intertwined fate for every month. As well as for the star glitter shop, pick up Bennett if you do not own Bennett at all and you have the star glitter available. But if you have to force yourself to pull on a banner, you do not want to pick up Bennett, you could choose to hold off on that. But keep in mind, we don't know when Bennett will appear on a banner. Black Cliff weapon wise, if you do not mind the somewhat inconsistent passive, feel free to pick it up for the main stat, but make sure that you have enough crit rate to balance it out. Try to have a 1-to-2 crit rate ratio if possible. Do not worry about Lisa. If you guys are a Lisa fan, feel free to pick it up, but star glitter is a rare commodity. And for December, I don't think you should really be picking up anything Barbara or Kaeya, or even the royal weapons. The only reason why you'd pick up the royal weapons is if they are still glitched, but even if they are glitched, that is a very, very sus thing to do because they will probably end up patching it if it's not fixed at all. Alright, that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please do consider leaving a like, comment down below if you purchased anything in the November shop or will be purchasing something in the December shop. Please do consider subscribing as well. Join our Discord to be part of our Genshin Impact community. Follow me on Twitch to get live tips and updates about the game, and follow my socials such as Instagram and Twitter if you guys want to get some leaks or some early up-to-date news for the game. See you guys next time. Bye.